Here's my final idea for the clutch. I'm going to weld that onto the clutch pedal, give me a little bit more extension, and then I won't have to drill into the pedal itself and kind of compromise its integrity. So I think this is gonna be it. There it is. Works just like that. I don't know how much travel it has, but it ain't much. Kind of wonder if it's going to work at all, but I guess we'll see. I think it's time to make an executive decision, and it's an unpopular one for me, but I've been wanting to put the battery down here and then put the coolant reservoir right here. But in order to take the battery out, I'd have to undo the coolant reservoir. And building this little bracket, to build the little bracket, I have to build the frame up a little bit. I could buy a battery tray for a C2. 68s also had them in the C3s if they came without air conditioning. However, those battery trays raise them up too high, so I can't put the coolant reservoir right here. So it's probably best I'll just keep it in the back of the seat. I just hate having it back there. It's been so annoying. However, it opens up the engine bay a little more. It makes this, can have it more centered or something. I don't have to be so crammed with that. So when I was cutting the tunnel, I cut the positive cable. So I need to go get a positive cable and start taking off the old battery cables. I think it's the smartest thing to do. If I weld on what I wanted to, you can't remove the body. So that's just not, gotta remove the body. Gonna remove the body like 20 more times, I guess. A fun fact about the clutch master cylinder that I bought is I got a remote reservoir, and so I can put the reservoir, I'm planning on putting it up here near the brake booster. And to do that, there are some brackets already on the fender wall. I cannot remember what they went to. I think they went to the security system. But I'm gonna take this aluminum piece and drill it into the bracket that's on the fender wall and then mount this to here. And it will stick out somewhere right, the lid will be like right around the brake reservoir. So I will do that now. Okay, got the reservoir in. I don't know if you can see, just made like a little bracket out of that aluminum. Set it right there. Now I just have to connect the hose to the cylinder. It is now time to tackle the power steering, and I'm hoping this goes pretty quick. I'm not going to go over too much detail, mostly because I'm following almost step by step of what a fellow YouTube guy is doing. Zip ties and duct tape. I'll put a link like in this corner right here. He's building a 1981 Corvette with an LT1, and we're about at the same stage. He's probably a little more ahead of where I am. And just a few weeks ago, he posted this video that's up here with a power steering procedure. And so I'm just copying that. What it is 3/8 PTF line, some AN adapters. I purchased the same adapter he did, and then I have my power steering hose. So I'm just going to mock this up like he did, and then we'll take you to the final product so you don't have to live through it again. Here is what I came up with. I bought a new hose, cut it off, put it in on it. I ended up having to bend this. It was pointing off in this direction, and somehow I was able to bend it to this direction. So that will go on my power steering. It's going to run right above the control arm, which I'll have to see how that does. Special tip for C4 Corvettes on the LT1: the power steering pulley does not come off. At least mine didn't. But the real tip is it doesn't need to, because it just bolts pretty simply. And I wish I would have known that, because I about destroyed mine. Anyway, we'll get this installed. The power steering's done. Final product, have it running down, heads down, and connects up. And there you go. Based on the decision to move the battery in the back, now I got to get down and remove all of the battery cables I have. The positive and negative from the 75 still attached that I sawed through accidentally, half of it at least. So I got to replace that positive cable. It runs down through the tunnel, and when I was fixing the tunnel, I chopped it. And I also have the positive and negative off of the 92. They're stuck to the engine and the block. So I'm gonna have to remove all of them and just start from scratch. So I'll be working on that right now. This is the aftermath. Some things to note on this. This is from the 92 Corvette, and there's a pretty big gauge and then a giant gauge coming directly off of the battery side. This is the C3 cable, and you can see my demise. I chopped it right there and right there really deep. Also, the negative battery off of the 92 has a lead. That must just go straight. Where would that go? So I'm assuming this goes to the alternator. This goes to the key. So I just need to remember that, because it's probably important when I'm wiring.